Hi guys, greetings. I hope all of you are doing really well for yourself. Now I am making this particular video especially with the intent of people who are going to be appearing for the FMGE exam in December. With almost 50 days left for the exam, there is a pertinent question which has been raised by many people. Can they still make it for this exam? And I wish to assure each one of you who is going to be appearing for this exam, the answer is a very confident, very vehement yes. The only thing is that you have a higher probability of going in and cracking the exam only if you give your 100% now for the exam. And when I say 100%, I literally mean it. So shun off your mobile phones, shun off the distractions, make sure that you are very well versed with all the previous year questions, make sure that you are revising your subjects again and again, and I am absolutely sure of the fact that you are going to be making it through in the exam. The second part of the question is, can I make it to the exam by reading selective subjects? Now, let me put this in a different way. As we all understand, out of the 19 subjects, there are certain subjects which are going to be accorded slightly more importance with respect to the number of questions that are being asked from them. Subjects which are usually going to be liked by the students, they are usually comfortable reading them and revising them. So we always make a mention of the P subjects, starting off with physiology, we then talk about pharmacology, we talk about pathology, we talk about preventive and social medicine. Also, the subjects which are going to be O subjects, be it ophthalmology, be it orthopedics, be it obs and gynae. Not to forget, to ace the exam, especially for the paper 2, you have to be very well versed with surgery as well as medicine. Now, for the most of the people I have had a personal interaction with in the last 16-17 years, people do have a problem in certain subjects. For example, they are unable to remember about the various biochemical cycles. So biochemistry definitely is a gray area for some of them. Anatomy is not being liked by everybody, so that usually is a gray area. People are not very comfortable remembering the details about the microorganisms, so microbiology is going to be a gray area. And similarly, there are subjects like skin, there are subjects like psychiatry, there is a subject like radio diagnosis, which is going to be less read by people, or I personally know of people who are just going to be leaving these subjects completely blank. Now, my humble advice to you is, in case you wish to ensure that you are going to be appearing in the exam and you come out with flying colors, this is going to be a simple mathematics. Say for example, the 9 or 10 subjects that I made a mention of, which are going to be creating the bulk of the questions for you in the exam, let us say you have got 200 questions from them. If I am very good in a particular subject, the best strike rate that I can achieve is around 75 to 80%. If I am going to be weak in a subject, I may have a strike rate of only about 25% or so. Now imagine me being a candidate who is going to be appearing in the exam, and let us say I ignore 9 subjects altogether. So effectively, out of 300 marks in the exam, I am preparing for only 200 marks. This being a screening exam, in order to pass the exam, you require a score of 150 marks. 150 out of 200 means a whopping percentage of 75%, which is usually achieved when you are very good at a subject, when your command on a subject is going to be really amazing. The only hitch in this scenario is that, God forbid, for certain questions where I forget to read the word not, where I forget to read the word except, where in my own hurry I mark the answer D in place of B. There may be 5 or 10 questions always which you were absolutely sure of, but for some strange reason in the exam you mark them incorrect. My point is that out of 200, I am going to be having a score of 150 if I am going to be marking all the questions which I know of personally. But if I make an error, and that is very human, that is very, very commonly observed, then I am not going to be getting the score of my desire. I am not going to clear the exam. On the other hand, I tell you a very simple strategy to take care of this problem. You focus your energy, you focus your attention on the major subjects through which 200 questions are likely to come, and let us say you have a strike rate whatever with your level of preparation. For the remaining subjects, for the remaining 100 marks, at least whatever resource that you are choosing, if you happen to be a cerebellum student, excellent. If you happen to be a prep ladder student, all the more good. If you happen to be a person who has read FMGE solutions kind of a book, still good. whatever be the source of your previous year questions, make sure that all questions which have been asked in the last 10 to 15 of the examination are going to be read by you. Why do I say so? Even if there is going to be a 30% repeat from the previous year questions, and mind you, if you talk to your seniors, if you talk to people who have cleared the exam, the percentage happens to be much higher. Then out of that 100, at least I would be having a score of 30. Now, once I have a score of 30 from the subjects which are not my strong subjects, then out of 200, I just have to score 120 to crack the exam. I mean, this is simple mathematics. So in option number A, what I was doing was, I was reading only 10 subjects. I was leaving 9 subjects completely blank. So I was getting a 0 in those 100 marks. And in the 200 remaining marks, I have to score 150, which means a whopping accuracy ratio of 75%. In situation B, what I am doing is, I am going to be covering only 30 questions out of 100 in the weak subjects which I don't like, maybe anatomy, maybe microbiology, maybe radio diagnosis, maybe psychiatry. But these 30 marks are going to be acting as a very good cushion. They are going to be a very good buffer for you. Why? Because then my aim is to get 120 marks out of 200 in the remaining subjects. And mind you, these subjects are the ones for which I have slogged higher, for which I have worked harder. So no doubt to the fact that my probability of getting at least a 60% score in the subjects which are my strength, which are my favorite, which I've read time and again, which I've revised time and again, are going to be a far more easier task. So in situation number 2, wherein I don't leave a subject completely blank, my chances of clearing the exam are going to be much, much higher. And therefore, that particular thing answers both the parts of your question. One, you can make it to the exam which is going to be taking place in December, even with starting your preparation, at least whatever basal knowledge that you were having earlier, and starting your preparation at a war-like speed now. And fact number 2, I don't recommend personally you to go in for selective studying of the subjects and leaving any particular subject completely blank. That is going to be harakiri. Obviously, we have to ensure that our focus is going to be remaining in the exam, and therefore whatever source of preparation that we have chosen, we have to stick to it. We have to ensure that we keep on revising that stuff time and again, so that you are able to perform well at the time of stress. It is highly recommended that you take part in a grand test every 10 to 15 days. I do have a special group wherein we are going to be posting certain practice questions for you on a regular basis, the link for which I am going to be sharing in the description below. You should be able to practice such questions on a regular basis, and the best time I would personally suggest is especially after you have taken your meals at night. So post dinner, when you're taking a light stroll, just have a look at those 10 to 15 questions which are going to be appearing in that group. And mind you, these are going to be absolutely filtered, hide questions which have been asked in the exam, and therefore we expect you to be familiar with them by your knowledge of whatever you have studied as of now. Please ensure, as we say that time and again, one of the most important reasons to ensure success in the exam is to revise whatever you are going to be reading. As I say that always in my face-to-face interaction as well with all the students, it is better to revise one particular book 3 times rather than doing 3 books at only one time. The more you revise, the better is going to be your probability of knowing about a particular question in depth. As also what happens in our face-to-face interaction, it also gives you an insight into the concepts which are going to be coming at a common level and in a twisted manner in the current pattern of questions in the exam. So when you talk about a condition like rheumatoid arthritis, pharmacology will tell you that there is a drug called as methotrexate. The question having a hint, anti-CCP antibody is a hint that you get from pathophysiology. You are familiar with the drug that is being used, that is going to be dihydrofolate reductase. You read about the folate trap in biochemistry. So integration of a lot of concepts would happen only and only when you have read all those subjects. Therefore, it is imperative that we finish off all these subjects. Therefore, it is imperative that we keep on practicing the questions. We keep on taking the grand tests regularly. No matter what your score is, try to have a direct competition with yourself. Try to improve upon your score in every subsequent test that you appear. Also, it is best that now is the time when you have to take care of your diurnal rhythm as well. So make sure that you're eating properly. Make sure that the water that you're taking as of now is going to be safe, considering that there are a lot of waterborne diseases patients who are reporting to the hospital. And also please ensure that you're sleeping in time so that during the exam, at the time of the exam, you suddenly do not have a total I would say a change in the pattern that you were facing. I mean, a lot of people are going to be night owls. A lot of people are going to be working till late at night. They may be getting up late, but that is not going to be the case during the time when on the day you are going to be appearing in the exam. So make sure that your diurnal rhythm, make sure that your day-night schedule happens to be at its place. Make sure that you're eating and having your hydration properly, that too from clean sources. Make sure that you're reading and you're revising your stuff. Make sure that you are practicing your questions and your test very regularly. And above all, please remember the fact you can still do it. If you conceive it over here, and I repeat that, if you conceive it over here, if you think that you can do it, then 99.99% chance you would be able to do it. That 0.01% chance that I've left is only for the fact that sometimes, in spite of all our best efforts, we are having a tendency to get influenced prior to the exams. Otherwise, the moment you conceive and the moment you give your 100% for the exam, it is going to be seen that you are going to be making it very much through. As always, my best wishes for your success. Have a great success in the exam. Take care.